So I'm Caroline Wilson. I'm a protection advisor for Molyneux Associates. I specialise in corporate and personal protection.
So, when's the best time to get protection for me and my family?
Taking policies out, the younger you are, the better. Just purely because obviously the more you put on risk, the more reasonable it's going to be. You know, somebody in their 20s wanting 200,000 is going to be very, very different to somebody in their 40s. And, you know, the policies tend to last for a really, really long time, you know, on average till you're age 70. So those figures, those monthly amounts won't change. So if you then in your 30s get a mortgage for 150,000, then you've covered it and you've taken it out younger. We can always top it up if we need to by other policies.
In terms of protecting loved ones, I guess you're going to say it's absolutely the right thing to do, isn't it?
I think what people underestimate is, especially if you've never been through it before, is grief can be a really powerful thing. So let me give you a scenario. You have actually just a newly married couple and one of them passes away. They've got a mortgage, they've not long had their mortgage, or even if they've had it for a while. The other person is left with the financial burdens of that mortgage, the bills, the grief that they've just lost their loved one, and they still have to work. Their job is not going to accept them not going back to work for months and months. You know, not all employers are able to do that. So life insurance in particular, if somebody was to pass away, that could pay off the mortgage, that could leave some legacy for bills and maybe time off so that person can heal enough to be able to be ready to go back to work. And that is a huge peace of mind for that person. Now take it that you don't have that situation, then you know that person has that financial burden on their shoulders.
So as well as dealing with the grief,
As well as dealing with the grief,
you're dealing with the...
Yeah, and I don't think we think about it, do we? We don't think about how we're going to feel if our loved one dies. You know, whether it's your husband, your wife, your child, your mum, your dad. Grief is grief.
So, as your needs change or your financial situation changes as life evolves, can your insurance cover change with it?
You can't change the said policy you took out in your 20s. You'd have to take out a new one. But what we can do is we can top that up. You should have a review around every 2 years because circumstances do change.
Okay. And would you conduct those reviews yourself?
That is one of the benefits of having an advisor. I don't just say, right, take this insurance and then, you know, run off into the sunset. I basically look after my clients. So we keep in contact. You know, circumstances change, we'll review it. You might move house and get a bigger mortgage, then we can review that and see what's best for you at the time. Now that might mean, it could be that we retake out a new one, or it might be that we just add another policy. That's down to the fact finding and me making sure I know my client and their circumstances.
So anybody who doesn't have cover and doesn't have protection in place, what would your advice be?
My advice would be something is better than nothing. So whether you rent or have a mortgage, it doesn't matter. Protection is needed, a level of protection, and don't underestimate what can happen if you leave somebody with a little bit of a financial mess.